big-time companies like Google, the reason they're doing these big layoffs is because they overhired, but they did it for a sketchy reason. Speaking remotely at an event hosted by banking firm Evercore, Silicon Valley venture capitalist Keith Rabois said that Facebook and Google had hired thousands of people to do fake work to hit hiring metrics out of vanity. That's a fancy sentence. Let me tell you what it means. They basically hired because it made them feel good about themselves. They didn't need the workers, didn't have the work. So what was really going on here? According to this guy, he was an executive PayPal in the early 2000s alongside Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who's a friend of his. And he said the axing of these jobs is overdue. He said there's nothing for these people to do. It's all fake work. Now that's being exposed. All they do is go to meetings. The DoorDash investor went on to say that Google had intentionally hired engineers and tech talent to stop them from being snapped up by competitors. That's pretty sketchy. It's not a bad strategy. I'm kind of torn. Now, it's not good business. But basically, he's saying these companies hired engineers and tech talent to keep them from being hired by their competitors. So it's like, I'm going to snap you up, but I'm going to stick you on the shelf. That's not good leadership. That's how you kill people's souls, literally, is them doing meaningless work. This was a torture strategy by Hitler. That's what concentration camps were. Meaningless work. Viktor Frankl wrote an entire book, Man's Search for Meaning. Go read it. Now, again, the strategy, I get it on paper. I'm going to take talent off the table so my competitors don't get them. But it doesn't work. And now they're laying all these people off. Rabois went on to praise his old friend Elon Musk, saying people are watching Elon at Twitter and he's clearly setting an example. Maybe it's an extreme example. But the example that Elon Musk said, hey, look, we're going to cut jobs. We're going to cut. You have got to have a clearly defined role and clearly defined outcomes, or else we're not going to keep you. We're going to let you go. Companies like Meta and Facebook are doing the same thing. What are they doing? They're overhiring because they said, well, we want to look to our stock, to our investors. We want to look to the media. We want them all to see us hiring. Because if you have one software company hiring and you're not hiring, then it's like a war of public image. So they kept doing it. Thomas Siebel, who is a billionaire tech CEO, said the craziness has finally gone out of the market when it comes to overhiring at companies. He went on to say this whole thing had to clear itself out. He said it's weird that Google and Meta hired employees when they didn't have jobs for these people. He goes, they were really doing nothing working from home. Now, some of you remote worker advocates who like to take shots at me, which, by the way, I never read the comments, so I really don't care what you say. All right? Because I'm not attacking remote work, but we're getting real reports here from people who are in the know saying they hired these remote workers just to say that they had the workers and they had nothing to do. Siebel went on to say that his software company, which has about 1,000 employees, takes a more cautious approach when it comes to bringing in new workers. He said they subject their candidates to highly competitive interview process, filtering potential hires by whether they fit the company's hard-driving culture. And out of some 4,000 candidates over the last year, they only hired 300 employees. Now, that's good leadership. Now, in case you're wondering if this is just a couple of billionaires' opinions, I got a clip for you from a worker. Watch this.
So there's this article in Business Insider that came out that says Google and Meta overhired thousands of employees who do fake work. This is a super hot take, but I 100% agree and can confirm this is the case. The article goes on to say that the main function of many of these jobs were to show up to meetings. And that's part of the reason why Meta is now going through their second round of layoffs in the last 6 months. A lot of these layoffs are a direct result of empire building internally, directors that come in and they're just focused on building out the biggest team possible and get the most recognition without really looking at the business need. When I was at Facebook, the last year or so just felt like an internal fight over work. It often felt like debate club. Who is the most worthy to take this work on?
Folks, this is sketchy. Now, let's just look at the real world results of this video. So first of all, this is a real worker at Facebook. Meta's the parent company. She's going, this report, it's right. People were hired just to simply show up and have meetings. It was like a focus group. Why? Because directors, leaders wanted to say they had a big team. Now, I could unpack this for days. I won't. Number one, that's stealing. That means these leaders falsely created a need for a worker and hired the worker all for glamour, status. All right, so that's within the company. And then we have testimony that you got to believe is true based on the confirmation of this TikTok video that the CEO and executive leaders across the top were hiring to simply keep talent out of the marketplace. But what happens is you kill one of the primary reasons for living, and that is to contribute through work. Work is good. The results of good work is good. The science backs me up. It's better for us physically, mentally, emotionally. Work is good. Doing it this way is bad.